Welcome to CX Wins Podcast, a show where customer experience professionals share their biggest wins, real customer stories, and their vision for the future of CX. Let's welcome our today's guest, Ben Gardner. Ben, can you please tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Thank you. Yeah, so my name is Ben Gardner. I'm the VP of Customer Care at AvidXchange, and I've been in the support space for a long time. I worked at several different software companies, but I would say the thing that probably shaped me the most was I spent 5 years in Apple retail and 3 years as a high school math teacher, and you learn a lot about patience, teaching, and really kind of getting across to whoever you're working with.
Cool. It is a pleasure to meet you, Ben. Going right into what the show is all about, can you tell us your biggest CX win, something you're personally proud of?
Yes, so I would say it goes back to my time at Drift. I had 50 different people on my team promoted into other areas of the company because I structured it in such a way. You onboarded, you learn the product, you learn how to support the customers, but then you learn the skills to become a success manager, an onboarding manager. We had people who went to engineering. I understood that the best way to learn the customer is through supporting them, and that's preparing you for that next thing. You start to specialize in one of the products that you could more, I guess, easily support. You became an expert in that, and then that led you to, are you going to become just a full-time dedicated expert in that product? That's the way that we structured everything there.
Thank you very much for sharing. The next question would be, can you share with us a memorable customer story, something you remember?
I would say this one happened somewhat recently. And if you're in a position like mine, oftentimes you deal with customer escalations. So you've got frustrated
Mhm.
customers for whatever reason. And this customer, had dealt with a lengthy set of issues, expectations. We dropped the ball on how we explained what was happening. So it made its way to me. And I jumped in. I called this customer several times from my own cell phone. And I think the most memorable part was toward the end of that conversation, we were able to take care of the issue. But he asked me, "Do you want to keep doing this next month when it happens?" And I said, very honestly, if I do this right, I'll never speak to you again. Like, that's the way that support works. If we do our jobs correctly, you never actually have to talk to us. If we do the product support in the right way, if we do our services support, at a certain point, we learn from it. And I was like, I don't ever want to talk to you. And he just started laughing. He's like, good, the feeling's mutual. But he now knew if he needed something, he did have a point of contact. But it was good and enlightening to see from the customer side that they actually understand, and I understand. Nobody really wants to contact support. You do it because you have to. And it's like
Mhm.
making sure that you talk through that. It's like not trying to say, let's just make contacting support the best experience possible. It was, if I can do this properly, I'll never talk to you again.
Was the issue like unique in some way? Did it require you to help?
So actually, it wasn't that unique, but I would say this customer was very frustrated, and at the point they couldn't find someone else to jump on the call. And so I'm a very big advocate of, if you're available, go ahead and support it. The team you need is the team that's in the room. It doesn't normally make its way all the way to the VP, but I didn't care. This was a frustrated customer, and if I could help, I could help.
That's a great approach. And the final question for today, what do you think the future of the customer experience looks like? Let's say like in 5 years.
I would hope in 5 years that there are a lot less of the basic questions that customers need to get assistance with. And now customer experience is more like when you contact a company, it's more like everyone is a consultant. They understand your business, what can help you succeed, what questions to ask to kind of drive the results. In the last 5 years, everything has been, you'll get a question, you'll answer that direct question, and it's pretty clear and to the point. Let me help you with this thing and get you off and running. And seeing that shift with AI that can help like solve things faster. It's like, okay, I don't need people to answer these basic questions. Like, what would I do if I had more resources? And it's invest more, talk to them more, know their business. Say, I see you're asking this question. What are you trying to achieve? Well, let's go ahead and look at this now. Kind of like if you look at financial advisors, they're not just telling you, here's where to put your money. It's like, well, what do you want to do with your money? Where do you want to retire to? What do you want your life to be? So they ask a bunch of questions before they just tell you, yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay. Do you think the tech will help with this?
I definitely do. When AI first came out with some of this stuff, you would ask a question and it would give you an answer, and then you had to go do it. If I think of the way the future's going, and if you have APIs in your product connected to that, if you say, I'm not getting notifications, it can learn and say, here's how you set that up. Would you like me to configure that for you? And then you just kind of do it. So it takes away that need for the customer to go through the steps, but they still understand how to do it if they need to, but they can have the assistant do it for them. I also think from the way that it's starting now is most questions that AI can answer are some of your basic questions, some general knowledge and things like that. When it gets to complex troubleshooting, people often say, well, it can't do that. It's harder to do that. And I'm going to say, I disagree. If you've ever gone through any medical apps where they're asking you questions, they're trying to diagnose and get you to that next point, and it's learned and it's programmed in such a way that it knows what the next question and the follow-up question and the follow-up question is. And so that's just kind of the structure, and people have to think different. I think the only gap right now between where AI is and where it could be is the limitations of the people implementing it. If you say it can't do this, then it can't. It won't, because you're not letting it. If you say, here's what I would like to do, and you change the way that you think about it, you're more likely to make it happen.
Yeah, that does make sense. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming, for sharing your story and insights.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And thank you all for watching and listening, and I'll see you in the next episode.